All right, we're starting, we're live. And look at these amazing mountains behind me. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm sorry, but we are standing just at the foot of the amazing Koʻolau Mountains. And look who I have next to me.
We went from, Frisco, Texas, and now we're in Kāneʻohe.
From Frisco, Texas to Kāneʻohe. We got Fuchsia in the house, her hometown, Kāneʻohe. So we're just gonna get a little bit of a walk as we finish this year, 2020, a crazy year for Hawaii football. Crazy in so many ways, obviously, and we want to talk about that. The New Mexico Bowl, our experience in Dallas and being there was pretty crazy just because, first of all, we didn't expect to be there.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think too many of us expected to win and actually win the way we did. So, now that it's over, now that we've been 6 days removed, and now we are 5-4, and it's a good year. How do you feel about the game? Just now that you're home, and now we can reflect on this beautiful moment as well.
It really was a bonus, cherry on top to a year that we didn't expect to even happen. Then we got a 9th game. We got to go to, our 3rd mainland bowl game ever. 2nd one for us too. 2nd one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go to the first. So it was, a bonus. And like I told everybody, there was more Hawaii fans in the stands than Houston fans. So it was pretty amazing. It was nice to see everybody, nice to see our team, and that win, we could be happy with it. Lots of room for improvement when you really look at it, but we'll take the win any day of the week.
Yeah, we'll definitely take the win, especially when, we didn't know what team was going to show up. Let's be honest, we were kind of inconsistent all year, and I think we picked the very best game to play, our best game, our last game against Houston. We saw a lot of new people there we have never seen on the road. Fuchsia and I, it's not like we've seen everybody, but now that we've been to every Mountain West city and we've been going to, basically, most of the non-conference, or at least a lot of the West Coast cities, we are pretty well acquainted with the people we see. But I met some fun people. I'm going to talk about some of the people I met. There where you hear the big chee-hooing on the side. I met a group of people. So how's it? We didn't even get to exchange names, but if you go and watch my halftime show, and I talked to some expats that just moved to Dallas, and they said it was a dream come true to have UH football there. And see, that's amazing. How, and Fuchsia talked about this when she was on the show last time. You feel connected to Hawaii. You feel connected to home when Hawaii football is in town. And that's what it is. It's a reunion when you come to the game. It's not just about going to watch the team play. It's about being there in the stands. And this time, it was super fun in the stands. So many people are really into the game. People we didn't even know before. People we met for the first time. But you just see how many people appreciated it. And obviously, circumstances as they were, being in a pandemic, being that a lot of people didn't really want to be outside. Some people were saying, even people that were in Texas, people that we knew in Texas, we didn't get to see. And I understand as well. It's a risk going outside. So we take that risk upon ourselves, but we also know that we did it safely. Everybody was masked up in Frisco. We both tested multiple times before we came back home, and that's really important. And I think the experience altogether was a pretty amazing one. But I don't know, what else do you have to say? Sorry, I was talking about some of the people because she met a bunch of new people. So you talk about that.
I met a lot of people. So, going into the game, somebody had an extra ticket, and I met the family of one of our new coaches, Laiu, and his whole family. They're from Texas, and he's a former player that played for Todd Graham, and his whole family was there. Met the mom and the dad and their brother. I think it was he's one of 6 siblings, I believe. And so I got to meet all of them. That was super fun. I got to meet Calvin Turner's family, trying to, get the scoop for everybody to see if he's coming back next year. But, lip seal, they wouldn't tell me anything. I don't know if the decision hasn't been made yet, but believe me, I was trying. We met Todd Graham's sister, Sherry.
Mm-hmm. She knew a lot about football too, man. Yes. She was ready to go. She's this team got tremendous speed.
She was loud. She is awesome,
totally into it.
She was on those defense cheers with us, and she helped us give, that our home field advantage, in Texas versus Houston.
Yeah.
I met our new recruit, Jordan Johnson, who's from Allen, Texas. So him and his dad were at the game, and we got to meet them, and he's excited to go to Hawaii. And
super
we're so
into
excited
it. Yeah.
to meet him, and it was just really cool. A chance meeting that he just happened to stumble upon our little group. So it was really awesome to meet him, and it was kind of cool to welcome him and his family into our family. It's cool that Wayne and I are at the age where we're friends with all the parents now. Not that we don't know any of the players because they're 10 plus years, younger than us.
Yep.
We know all the parents, so we're kind of, now in that age bracket, and it's fun. And again, I can't see my family. It's the first time I've seen my family in a whole year, but I've seen our Hawaii football family at Wyoming, outside of Fresno, and then in Texas. So
yeah, amazing year that we've had. I mean, Fuchsia and I went to three. We're there in three of at the games. Fresno, I was able to get in as a media person, but Fuchsia was holding it down outside in Fresno, meeting a bunch of people, and it's just a part of our road traditions. And that was something that we were kind of scared of, right, this year, like losing on, was that this is our calendar. This is what happens when September comes around, when October comes around. It's like we go to games when November comes around. And even though we started on October 24th, it was still very fulfilling. I felt like, I think obviously it would have been nice to go to 8 road games or however many that we usually go to. But I mean, the 3 alone, we made the most of them.
We did. So when we started in Fresno, the day after, we went to Yosemite. Then when we played Wyoming, we drove 3.5 hours. Well, before the game, we went to Red Rock Amphitheater on the way to the game from the airport. Then the next day, we drove from Laramie to Colorado Springs, and we went to the Manitou Incline. And then in Texas, we stayed in the Christmas capital of Texas, and I got a really cool morning of the game. Got to see the Christmas lights, Christmas trees, and it was just a really cool experience. And it was my first time going to Texas. And I spoke about this on one of the last shows about once in a lifetime opportunity. But Hawaii football grants me that excuse, that opportunity to travel and see all these amazing places.
Yeah, in Texas. That was your first time you said ever to Texas, right?
Ever to Texas. And I, didn't really have a reason to go there ever before. And we got to see some of our friends like Russ.
Yeah.
And he said he's one of those that he said he's been waiting 22 years for
That's
the
right.
team to play
That's right.
in his hometown, his new hometown.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see him, and I know he was really happy that the team was there because he's at all of our road games as well.
Wow, I know. It's Kāneʻohe, so of course it's going to start a little bit of rain coming down. See, in Mililani, the drier parts, the plains, similar to Texas. Fun fact about Texas, which I still can't get out of my head, because I've been to Texas, that's probably like my 6th, 7th time to Texas, but I didn't realize that there are no natural lakes. There's only one natural lake in all of Texas. Everything else was man-made, because by the hotel there was this lake. I was like, wow, what is that lake? And they're like, oh, I don't know, they just dredged that up and they just threw water. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that's Texas for you. So
it's very flat and you couldn't see anything, and here we are, and we have the
and here we are in the Koʻolau.
We have the beautiful.
So I mean, but we do have that appreciation this year. Of all the places we go to, and Dallas was a real treat as well, because like we said, so many people have been waiting for a game to come to Dallas. So many people, just have been traveling and following Hawaii football for so long, and when it comes to town, they make the most of it. And that's kind of nice, because this year, as we didn't have a lot of games, we didn't have our normal amount of games, people appreciated it more. And we appreciated this season, definitely going into this game 4-4, not being able to, have a normal year of our 14, 15 game slate, but having 8 regular season games, being one of the few teams in all of Division I to play their entire slate, plus a bowl game, plus win the bowl game. I mean, this is a season. This is a good season. This is a season, A- season. I don't know. This season reminds me a lot of 2016. Rolo's first season. We were 6-7 after the regular season, and that season we had a lot of bumps. Obviously, Michigan was several bumps over and over again. It felt like, but we went to Australia. We went to so many places, and that was such a tough year on the boys. But to end the regular season 6-7, then go to a bowl and win the bowl game, the Hawaii Bowl, and be 7-7. Like, that was the most satisfying 500 season ever of my life, because you appreciate things like that more. So I guess I really appreciated this season probably a lot more, because I realized just how difficult it was from the beginning. And, Coach Graham, and, now that we've had a season with Coach Graham, I have to admit, I think he did what he needed to do. at least what he needed to do. Winning a bowl game was great. I think finishing the season at 500 was good, given that we had finished the year, as West Division champs last year. I don't think the cupboard was completely empty, and he came and he stepped into a lot of talent, but he also brought some talent along with him. And, Calvin Turner, obviously a name that we brought up earlier, someone that we've been trying to recruit to come back. So Calvin, the NFL sounds amazing. I know, but you should come back to Hawaii. So,
yes,
but
we hope to see you and your family.
We hope to see you, but I mean, we can't blame you for that.
Next year.
But we had so much fun meeting those, all those fans that we don't get a chance to see, and those fans that really, really, really appreciated it. And I felt like that's what it was in Frisco. Like it was like a party in the game. Like when I was in the Calvin's kickoff return for a touchdown, for example, I was in the press box. So I was briefly looking down at my phone, and I just saw Calvin take off. And I saw him going to the end zone. It was cool because I looked down and all the Hawaii fans below me were just high-fiving. And I saw a guy named Preston Philpott. So shout out to Preston Philpott. He was wearing his 1992 Holiday Bowl jersey at the game. And I told Coach Wags, I said, oh, Preston Philpott, one of your old players, was there too, which was really cool. And I think that was a cool reunion for all those old players as well, the former players. But it was neat to see everybody just really going excited and going crazy. And, there was some distancing. I mean, it was a giant stadium.
It was a giant stadium. There was only a few hundred fans. We were definitely spread out. Everyone was pretty masked up. But obviously, there was those moments where, kick-off return for a touchdown. I'm giving out a few hugs here and there.
Just a few. But I think like that is a part of the whole game. And for anybody that didn't or hasn't seen how important fans are to the game and to the atmosphere and, to the players' morale. I think we've shown that this year that fans across the world, when they're not allowed into the stadiums, when they're not given access, it changes the way that we look at the game. It changes the way that people watch the game on TV, right? They're like, what is this artificial noise? It's so weird. So to actually get to make real noise and to affect your players and to be so close to them at games that are socially distanced, you can basically talk to the players if you wanted to. Not that we do that or we're trying to, but they hear a lot, and that's a positive thing for the most part. If you're shouting positive things, which we always do, and we're always there supportive of the team. But it's definitely been a different experience this year. To go through this whole year, and to also, for me personally, having started the show in April and not knowing whether, I honestly had no idea what Hawaii sports fans would be like. Fuchsia has been, and her family, who is behind me as well. I mean, they have been on Hawaii Sports Fans Tour with myself, and we've gone to New York, and we've done such amazing things. And I thought, wow, this, I started this company 8 years ago, and I thought, this could be the last time, no more tours. And this year I was able to, with the help of a lot of you watching right now, and with the help of a lot of people who believed in the mission of Hawaii Sports Fans and what we do, is to really create that passion for sports, but also to create an experience that is memorable forever. And I have been able to make so many amazing memories on my own this year, whether it was covering a game, whether it was, doing a show. I really encourage you to go back. When I look back on this 2020 and some of the really fun shows that I got to do, obviously the Colt Brennan interview stands out a lot. Just shout out to Colt Brennan. And I know, and we talk about this on the show, it was not easy to be Colt Brennan, obviously, right now, and we just send our support. But I would highly recommend going and watching that interview, because he answers some questions I think a lot of UH fans really have been sitting on for a lot of years, like that Sugar Bowl night. Like, what was it about that game? Why did it feel like we had no chance, basically, from the beginning? I mean, why did it feel like we've been, totally, completely outmanned? And he talks about that. He talks about, the season before that and their 2006 team. So if you're a Hawaii football fan, go and check that out. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/Hawaii Sports Fans. Please subscribe as well, so you always know when there's a new show coming up. If you like this page, now I'm getting BTS, see, live BTS. If you like our page, you're also gonna get when I go live as well. So on Facebook. But this year, so many of you who have come and traveled with me And also now our viewers, shout out all of you. Robert, who is my ultimate Hawaii sports fan. He's been to about 6 of my tours. It's just sad not being able to have you and Lori on a tour this year. And Robert was there for the last tour that cut off. It was the Big West Championship tour. And that's when the pandemic kind of really hit, the West Coast at least. And the Big West Championship was called off. And, it's crazy to think that was 9 months ago, over 9 months ago. And, that was the last time we were even close to being inside of an arena. So a big year this year. Super Bowl is talking about having fans. So if you are thinking about going to Super Bowl, make sure, email me right now, info@hisportsfans.com, or send me a private message on here, because I definitely plan on being there for my 6th Super Bowl. And nobody does Super Bowl tours like Hawaii sports fans. And I'm excited. The playoffs are coming. If you are a fan of the Chiefs, the defending champions, like I am, you'll be happy to have the number one pick. But this year, 7 teams getting in from each conference. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see what kind of wild card matchups we have. Maybe we'll have a tour. If you are actually interested in traveling, let me know. I want you leave me a comment or email me if you're thinking about it, because 2021, I want to get back on that road with a lot of you. I want to be able to, have some of you in the stands with me. And obviously we need to do it in a different way, safely. And in 2021, we're still going to have a pandemic. It's not going to go away with 2020, unfortunately. But, we've learned a lot more this year, and we've, definitely been able to grow from this pandemic year. So next year we'll definitely be way more ready for Hawaii football, and looking forward to 2021. We have a game at Oregon State, yes. Right? We have a game
at UCLA.
We have a game in Las Cruces, New Mexico, in UNLV. We played the same team twice. Yeah, not something, if you watch the show, it's not something I'm happy about at all. Still, but whatever, it's happening. New Mexico State, we'll be playing them twice next year. Also, in New Mexico they play in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So Albuquerque is not that close where, University of New Mexico is. But New Mexico State is actually right across the border from UTEP, El Paso. So that's like their rival as well. So Hawaii has some.
Have you been to New Mexico State?
I've been to the place. I've never been to a game there. Okay. But yeah, I mean, they had columns.
For volleyball.
That's right. Yeah, they had a good volleyball team. They had a good basketball team. Yeah, good men's basketball as well. So these schools, that'll be interesting to get back to. I mean, obviously going back to the Rose Bowl will be fun. Last time we were there, it was so hot. It was so hot.
It was one of the hottest games.
That was the hottest game ever. I guess I shouldn't be complaining about games being hot if we get to go to them. But the Rose Bowl was one of those really hot games. But Oregon State will be really cool. I'm excited about going to Oregon, because this year we're supposed to go to Portland and go to Eugene to see UH play the Ducks. So that would have been super fun. Yeah. And it sucks because, we're supposed to play Oregon there. We're supposed to play UCLA at home. And I don't know whether those two things will ever happen again. Those things, it's really difficult to schedule teams, especially out of your conference. You don't have a ton of non-conference games, and every team is usually scheduled out so many years in advance. So, it's really hard, but we always get to know every time a new game comes out, it's like, that's where we're going, right? We think about like the new city. So I haven't been to Nashville, and that's where we're going to go 2 years. Yeah, we're going to see Vanderbilt. So that'll be fun. What games are you looking forward to for next year? Well, UNLV, obviously.
Any that we can go to?
Yeah, any that we can go to.
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen for the home games, but obviously that's a special thing for me to be able to fly home, go to tailgating with my family. So wherever our home games will be, whether it's going to be, at Ching Field, whether it's going to be on Maui, wherever it's going to be, whether it's going to be in Vegas, we'll be there. And I can't wait to be, with my nieces and my family, and, at home and on the road. We'll be there supporting if we can be.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Ultimately, is all about being with our families. Even though we are not in the game, right? Fuchsia and I are not literally on the field. Like, we still feel a part of the game in so many ways. And people, we always feel like we can either affect the game by having our friends there and getting them into the game, or, just being a part of the atmosphere that we create, in the stands, and the camaraderie that we have with the other fans. Like, that is really important. And it's important to foster a strong Division I program as well. And that's something that I think for our team, particularly at UH, we need to continually do. And it's really important. And it's going to start with, getting families together. Not every family is going to be able to watch a pay-per-view game for $70. Like, that's something that has to be reevaluated. I know a lot of people this year that lost track of the team. I tell them, "Oh, you haven't watched any games?" "Oh no, I never paid $70." And I mean, that's going to affect that even casual, especially casual fans, right? Because hardcore fans, they'll spend $70. My parents will, Fuchsia's parents will, but it's not something that's easy for everybody to just do some $70. But next year, if we're not playing in the stadium, which it looks like we might not be playing in Aloha Stadium, it'll be a good year to, let's say, show up as a UH fan, and for the team to show who are the true fans of this program, who's going to be there in this tough transitionary time where, we don't know we're playing at Ching Field, we don't know if we're playing. I know. He said, Sean said, look at those Toyota Camrys, which is hilarious. This is almost a Toyota commercial already. Yeah, I know. That's everybody.
My sister did
there's my Toyota Camry.
My sister did
We can't escape them. Oh, that's true.
That's
true. Her sister did win the ultimate Toyota tailgate package thing, which was there. But you can't escape Toyota Camrys, even the 1992 ones, which still run pretty well. But the Koʻolau Mountains behind me, 2021 upon us. As I look forward to 2021, I think a lot of the big questions are, with our program at least, is Coach Graham, what is he going to do in the second year? Second year is typically a hiccup year for a lot of coaches. Coach Rollo slipped up in his second year. And slip up, I mean, didn't do as well as their first year. June Jones, Norm Chow, I believe. Yeah, because that was 2-10 and 1-11. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
50%.
3. But second year the sophomore slump is real when it comes to coaches at UH, and that'll be a big question. But I think Coach Graham is really intent on making UH a place that he can craft in his own vision, a program that he wants to see rise to the level of Boise, to the level of the other Group of 5 schools. So I think that's exciting. But this year was a crazy year. It was a crazy year, and for UH to win a game, to be 5-4, to win the New Mexico Bowl is amazing. It's a great year. Oh, Robert's finally watching. Robert, I gave you a shout out, Robert. You missed it. You got to go rewind, Robert, after I post this. But just see, Robert's finally watching. But Robert's always worried that we don't shout him out enough. But Robert's always there on the road. And that's where we want to see you all next year as well. Hawaii sports fans, we'll be there at Oregon State. Because, of course, why would we not have a tour at Oregon State? Definitely UCLA. Los Angeles, it's a Hawaii sports fans base. So we're going to be at SoFi Stadium, no doubt, that weekend. SoFi Stadium, the best stadium on the planet. And I can't wait to bring Hawaii sports fans there, because we have some of the best seats in the entire stadium. And I have them for 50 years, technically. I have to pay for them every year, but I wish I could just have them for 50 years. That'd be nice. But that's what's on the horizon for 2021 as well. So, everybody just needs to, stay masked, stay positive. Think of all the great things that we'll have in store. As for me and for Hawaii sports fans, I think I'll continue to do this. I'm going to continue to go live. I'm going to continue to podcast on the Hawaii Sports Fans channel. Have my friends like Sean, as you saw there. Thank you again, saying love the throwback. I got my UH throwback, Hawaii basketball throwback on. And I think that this year has, shown to me that there are so many possibilities that I can do with Hawaii sports fans, that not only are going on trips around the world and going on tours, but things I can do at home. So I'm excited to start doing a lot of programs at home, programming here, bringing some of our Maui, Kauai, and non-Oahu residents to games at Aloha Stadium. I want to start, maybe doing some packaging there with Hawaii sports fans. I also want to do some other artistic things with video. And I think I've been really inspired this year to come up with some cool projects. So I think I'm gonna have a Patreon, a membership, something along that line. Everything kind of just comes as you notice, right? I just say to them something's gonna happen and eventually it happens. So this year, having the lives, having a podcast, you know, those things are all inspired by what's going on in the world. So whatever happens, I just kind of go with the flow, and that's how Hawaii Sports Fans is, because at the very core of it is all about fun. It's all about passion.